This morning's expulsion of 6 British diplomats from Moscow marks a sharp escalation in the diplomatic tension between Russia and the UK, and Moscow's accusation that these diplomats were involved in espionage, alleging that they engaged in intelligence gathering and meetings with banned organisations. So many organisations now are banned in Russia. It wouldn't be that difficult to find yourself talking to somebody who is prescribed or part of a prescribed organisation. This is the most significant diplomatic fallout since the Salisbury poisonings in 2018, and Russia's actions appear to be in reprisal for London's decision to back up President Biden in whatever is being decided today. The Russian Federal Security Service, the FSB, claims to have detected signs of espionage by the diplomats, further intensifying the atmosphere. At the same time, Keir Starmer, the leader of the British Parliament, the Prime Minister, is in Washington to discuss escalating military support for Ukraine, including the potential use of British-made Storm Shadow missiles. And this has provoked a hostile response from Moscow, with President Putin warning that NATO's involvement risks direct confrontation with Russia. However, Starmer and his allies, such as the Polish Foreign Minister Radek Sikorski, have dismissed these threats, arguing that Russia's credibility is undermined by its failures in Ukraine. And Starmer has also underscored that Russia could end the conflict if Putin chose to withdraw. And I'm not sure that any how much of a withdrawal that would have to be. But the current invasion of Ukraine is illegal, and talking about the rules that were defied by Ukraine's movement into Russian territory is absurd at this point. The rules were broken in 2014 when Putin put his forces into Crimea. The rules were broken so much more when Putin attempted to invade Kyiv, and he miscalculated. His Donbass experiment will be seen by history to be the signal failure of his tenure. And it may indeed be the signal failure of the of Russian leadership in the last 100 years. The diplomatic standoff comes at a critical juncture in the Ukraine war, where long-range missile support could significantly shift the balance, where Ukraine senses that it can take the initiative. And recent Russian advances and Ukrainian incursions have heightened the stakes, making the talks between Starmer and President Biden pivotal in shaping the next phase of the conflict. Both leaders aim for a long-term solution, despite Russia's retaliatory stance, and tensions between Russia and the West continue to rise, further complicated by Iran's involvement in supplying missiles to Russia, an act condemned by the UK, by France, by Germany. And any future peace needs to involve a curtailing of the actions of Iran. Iran is also, by the way, just to make it very clear, a state which is deeply troubled and greatly weakened. The Iranian regime clings on by its fingernails and is much resisted by many of the Iranian people. But it is, like Russia, a state of oppression, and ordinary people would be very foolhardy to voice dissent and to come out on the streets. That isn't going to happen. And even if it does, as we see in Israel, a determined tyrannical leader will just ignore it. So, if the Israeli people can't get Netanyahu to stop, how does anybody think the Iranians will get the Ayatollahs to stop, or the average Russian will get the Kremlin to stop. It won't happen. But the mood in those three countries is not supportive. The popular mood is not supportive of the leadership.